Chapter 20, The Hidden Messiah. Mark's Gospel is a story of the 12 apostles who just don't get it. Like all Jews of their day, they expected the Messiah to come in victory and restore glory to Israel. So Mark's Gospel is a journey. The disciples following Jesus, learning slowly, somewhat reluctantly, who Jesus is, what kind of a suffering servant Messiah he really was. Well, they were thrilled when Jesus healed the sick, or gave eyes to the blind, or healed the paralyzed. They rejoiced when the crowds gathered, but they were confused when the religious leaders criticized, when opposition mounted. Over and over again, Jesus says to the disciples, "Don't you understand?" Often he would tell a parable and then privately ask, "Do you also fail to understand?" Like all of us, their vision was clouded by their own self-interest. They thought being with the Messiah, they would become prominent, share in the glory. Read carefully chapter 8. "Who do people say that I am?" asked Jesus. Peter, impetuous as always, blurted out, "You're the Messiah." But when Jesus said he must go to Jerusalem, be rejected, suffer, and be killed, Peter said, "No, no, no." He even rebuked the Lord. Peter didn't want a suffering Messiah. He wanted a triumphant warrior Lord, able to feed the hungry, heal the sick, and get rid of the Roman Empire. Remember, Peter even denied that he even knew Jesus when Jesus was taken prisoner that night. James and John were no better. They asked to sit at his right hand and at his left hand when Jesus received his kingdom. The entire gospel is an attempt of Jesus to explain who he is, the nature of his messiahship, the reality of his cross. Jesus told them and told us to take up our cross and follow him. But who stood at the cross on Calvary? Not Peter, not Judas. No one save John, who stood with Mary, the mother of Jesus, and a handful of women. Only in the resurrection of our Lord, only in the resurrection appearances, did they understand what he had been trying to tell them, that his all-encompassing love would cause him to suffer, be crucified, but be raised in victory over the grave. Then they understood. Then they began their own ministries. Peter dying, crucified upside down in Rome. All of them martyrs for the faith, except John, who took care of Mary, and all except Judas, who committed suicide. Christians today are called to follow the suffering servant Lord, to take up our own crosses and to serve joyfully and faithfully.